Yes, I think yesterday I was talking about other day factory design pattern. What this says, I use factory method, but I'm different from factory method. Factory method returns any class object, maybe same class object, related class object, unrelated class object. Factory pattern says I use factory method by always return what? One of the several related class objects based on the data that is provided. But how can we say classes are in relation? Okay, by seeing them implementing either common interface, by seeing them extending from what? Common superclass. What's the advantage of factory pattern? Someone developed factory pattern, someone is using factory pattern. The person who is using factory pattern, he calls the method, gets the object based on the data he is supplying. Yes or no? No? So he is getting abstraction on object creation process. He is going to get one of the several related class object based on the data that is passed, guys. So definitely this possibility is there or not there. Definitely this possibility is there or not there, no doubt in that. Okay, let's see how exactly we can do that work, right? Let's see how exactly we can do that work, guys. Okay, full and final conclusion is we enjoyed yesterday bike factory class. The client who is using bike factory, he is calling bike factory dot get stand by passing bike type. He is getting bike object and he is least bother about what is the class name of the object, but he is enjoying the object and he is getting abstraction on object creation process or not. Same thing, driver manager dot get connection. He is getting connection object. He is least bother about connection object is the object of what, which class. And he is also getting abstraction on connection object creation process or not, guys. Okay. Today, let's move to another design pattern, main important design pattern, that is strategy design pattern. How strategy design pattern is important? Very simple. Every application of Spring is recommended to design according to the strategy design pattern. What, guys? According to the strategy design pattern. No second thought in that. Okay, guys. So today let's talk about various things related to what? Strategy design pattern. I think first of all, tell me strategy means planning, na boss? Strategy means planning. What do you say, guys? Okay. Yeah, if you look at the IPL matches, boss, there is a strategic timeout. Why they give that? To plan the match, to plan the game, right? But in international T20s, no strategic timeout. Only in IPL T20s, what is there? Strategic timeouts are there. Why? IPL games are that much greater. Nothing is there. Our Indian BCCI wants to enjoy satellite rights, broadcasting rights, advertisement money in those 10 minutes gap. 10 minutes in a peak match is a big number, right? The two strategic timeout will be used when match is in peak stage, right, boss? When things are out of control, things are going very fastly to disturb the rhythm of the batsman, to disturb the rhythm of the bowler. The opposite team captain takes what? Strategic timeout. So like this, they want to generate more revenue by giving what? Advertisement in the TV sets. So you don't find strategic timeout in what? Strategic timeout in what, guys? Real ones, right? So let it be, my dear. Where is this? 515. Yeah, what's there? Spring Core. Here is what? Factory design pattern and strategy design pattern. Right click, guys. Where is this? Open with Yeah. Edit with paint. There's no open with paint. Huh? How come? Okay, I think I have to open it. Okay, that's the reason it is not coming. Okay. Arif. First, we are going to implement factory design pattern, strategy design pattern in core Java. And we'll see limitations of implementing these two design pattern in core Java. Then we try to develop the same design pattern in Spring setup. Then we will see advantages of implementing what? Strategy design pattern using Spring setup, right? Okay. One thing you remember, guys, if any object name is pronounced with interface name, that is not object of interface. That is the object of a class that implements the interface, right? If any object name is pronounced with abstract class, that is not object of abstract class. That is the object of a class that extends from abstract class. Is that clear, guys? If any object name is pronounced with what? Class name, that can be object of that class or it can be object of one of its subclass. Calendar CL is equal to calendar dot get instance. We say calendar object, but calendar is an abstract class, guys. Is it the real object of calendar class, guys? No. It is the object of Gregorian calendar referred by whom? Calendar abstract class. Referred by whom, guys? Calendar abstract class. Convinced with me, my dear? Come on, everyone. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay, here I want to give those points, guys. If object name is, if any object is pronouns, any object name is pronounced with, what is there? Pronounced with interface name. Then it is called, what is there, guy? Then it is it is the object of a class that implements an interface. Are you getting my point there, guys? We say list object, actually list is an interface. We say serializable object, actually serializable an interface. Serializable object means what? It is the object of a class that implements serializable interface. If any object name is pronounced with, what is there? Super class name. What class name, guys? Then it is the object of a class that extends from that object of a class that extends from pronounced with what is there? Abstract class that extends from the abstract class. Right, guys? Super. Yes, boss. If any object name is pronounced with what? Class name, then that can be, then that can be object of Java class or the object of one of its subclass, object of one of its subclass. object of one of its subclass. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Yeah, now onwards. Serializable object. It is not object of serializable interface. It is object of a class that implements serializable interface. Okay, calendar object. It is not object of calendar interface. I mean, it's a calendar abstract class. It is the object of a class that extends from what? Calendar class. Like the same thing here also, boss. Here, what is the example, guys? Serializable object. What object, guys? Serializable object. Here, what is there, guys? Calendar object. What object, my dear? Calendar object. Next example. What is there, guys? Pronounced with the class name. So subclass object, but we are pronounced with what? String class, right? We pronounce with the super class name. Yeah. What is a better wording? Better wording for that. Subclass object, but we pronounce with what? Super class, right? No, not object class. Object class we pronounce with object only, right, guys? What's a common super class for all these things? In core Java level, any class is there like that? Huh? Yeah, calendar is an abstract class, no doubt in that. But I'm talking about normal class, but it's going to be one of its subclass object, but we pronounce with what? Class name. Stack extends over vector. Extends from vector. Yeah, can I say stack object? Yeah, stack object, but it can be object of stack class or it can be object of what? Vector class. When I say stack object, it can be object of stack object or it can be object of what? Vector. Okay, let it be, guys. Shall we get into strategy design pattern here? This is Ganga 4 pattern, can be implemented in any OOP language, object-oriented programming language. This pattern is very popular in Spring programming because it gives set of principles towards what? Designing classes of dependency management. And we use this dependency management a lot in Spring programming. We use that dependency management a lot in Spring programming. Strategy design pattern says, while designing the class of dependency management, follow set of rules or principles which allows to design the classes as what? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. What, guys? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. We can change one dependent with another dependent without touching the source code of what? Target. There are, other day we discussed, 2-3 possible dependents are there. I want to change one dependent with another dependent without touching the source code of target class. That loose coupling is very much required or not required, guys? Yeah, what is the basic statement of strategy design pattern, boss? The basic statement of strategy design pattern is, strategy design pattern says, while designing the class of dependency management, follow set of rules. What, guys? Follow what, guys? Set of rules. Follow set of rules or principle which allows us to design the classes as what? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. We can change one dependent with another dependent without touching source code of the target class. The target and dependent classes of dependency management can be designed by using following principle of strategy design pattern. Listen guys, array in Spring or any application, two classes staying in dependency is quite common, right? Assigning one class object with another class object is called dependency management. It says you follow strategy design pattern while designing classes of dependency management, nothing but target and dependent classes. You can design them as the best classes, right? Strategy design pattern is all about developing the classes, designing the class of dependency management, target and dependent classes by following three principles, by following three rules. Are you with me, guys? Come on. So if we follow these three rules while designing target and dependent classes of dependency management, everything goes smoothly or not, guys? Everything happens smoothly or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Here is what? Rule number one, rule number two. Here is my rule number three or principle number three. That's great. Favor composition, nothing but what? Has a relation over inheritance. Nothing but is a relationship. While keeping target and dependent classes in relationship, don't prefer what? Has a relationship. Prefer what? Is a relationship. Prefer inheritance. Don't prefer what? Sorry. Don't prefer inheritance. Prefer what? Composition. Rule number two or principle number two. Always code to interface and abstract classes. That means don't code with what? Concrete classes to achieve loose coupling in the implementation of dynamic polymorphism. What is that? In the implementation of dynamic polymorphism. Is that clear, my dear? Come on, everyone. Rule number three or principle number three. Our code must be open for extension and must be closed for what? Modification. Everyone, can you repeat all the three principle, guys? Next 1-2 session, you have to remember this one. Strategy design pattern, three principle. Prefer composition over inheritance. Next, always code to interfaces are what? Abstract classes. That means don't code to concrete classes to achieve loose coupling, boss. You know, interfaces are there for loose coupling. Abstract classes can also be used for what? Loose coupling. Rule number three or principle number three. Our code must be open for what? Extension and must be closed for what? Modify. To add for expansion, it should be ready, but it should not allow anyone to come and modify the logic. You should not allow anyone to come and modify the logics. Are you getting my point there, guys? Rule number one or principle number one, guys. Favor composition. What is that? Has a relation over inheritance. Nothing but is a relation. Favor composition has a relation over what? Is a relation. First, we try to understand what is the difference between inheritance and composition. What is the difference between inheritance and composition? Clear, boss? Come on, everyone. Yeah. Inheritance is a relationship. Tell me. Class A. Here is my what? Class B. B is the subclass of A. Is a relationship. B is inherited from A. Is a relationship. Everyone knows, guys. Class B extends from A. What is composition, guys? Here is class A. Here is my what? Class B. Private A is equal to new A of. Here I created A class object now, boss. In B, we created object for what? A. Here the object of B class, here the object of B class has the object of A class. This is nothing but has a relationship now, boss. This is really nothing but has a relationship or not, guys. Say something, my dear. I want reply from you people. Yes, this is my B class object. Inside that I am having A class object or not, guys. The object of B class has the object of A class. The object of B class has got the object of A class. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? Come on. Where should I use inheritance? Where should I use what? Composition. If class 1 wants to use, in which situation inheritance is bad in strategy design pattern in Spring programming. Overall inheritance is good. In Spring programming, while designing targeted and dependent classes,